Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The buzz around the Miami Dolphins this week has mostly swirled around one name, Jalen Ramsey. Trade rumors have picked up steam now that the post-June 1st window is wide open, and speculation about where the all-pro cornerback could land is dominating social media timelines and sports talk shows. But while all eyes have been locked onto the secondary, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel took a moment during Tuesday's OTAs to shift the spotlight somewhere else. And it wasn't to Ramsey or even to quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. It was to the offensive line, that same unit that's been under scrutiny for what feels like years now. And more specifically, McDaniel gave a highly encouraging update on $36 million starting right tackle Austin Jackson. For fans sick of the revolving door of injuries and inconsistency on the line, this was the kind of news that finally brought a little bit of sunshine to South Florida. Standing in front of the media, rocking his signature relaxed look and laser-focused energy, McDaniel dropped a quote that immediately turned heads. "If there's a more ready version of him, I'm super excited to see it," he said, speaking of Austin Jackson's condition heading into camp. That's a pretty strong endorsement, coming from a head coach who isn't exactly known for throwing around empty praise. Jackson, who signed a hefty 3-year extension worth $36 million, has been a bit of an enigma for the Dolphins since he was drafted 18th overall in 2020. Injuries, technique issues, and overall inconsistency have plagued his early career, but 2023 was a turning point. He started 16 games and held down the right side of the line far better than many expected. If this is the more ready version of Jackson that McDaniel is teasing, then maybe, just maybe, the Dolphins have finally found some long-term stability at the position. The update comes at a crucial time, especially when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture of the Dolphins' offensive line. Improvement is not a luxury for Miami in 2025. It's a necessity. Despite making it to the playoffs last year, the Dolphins' offensive line play was shaky, to say the least. Pro Football Focus ranked them 27th out of 32 teams. That's 6th worst in the entire league. For a team built on speed and precision, timing in the passing game, that ranking isn't just bad, it's dangerous. So when Mike McDaniel steps up and says Jackson's trending in the right direction, that's not just optimism, that's hope. Hope that the team's heavy investment is finally starting to pay off. Hope that the narrative around this O-line is finally ready to change. Because let's face it, if Miami wants to make serious noise in the AFC next season, they can't afford to have the offensive line dragging them down again. Helping reinforce that change are two fresh faces who are expected to bring much needed grit and power to the interior, James Daniels and rookie Jonas Avainea. Daniels, signed during free agency, brings veteran leadership and technical soundness to a group that has lacked both. He's versatile, smart, and more importantly, durable. Then there's Avainea, the Dolphins' second-round pick, who is raw but incredibly talented. At 6'5" and over 330 pounds, he's a beast of a man with a mean streak that offensive line coaches drool over. If he can adjust quickly to the speed of the NFL, the Dolphins might have struck gold. These two, combined with a healthy Jackson, could finally give this unit the kind of foundation it needs. Suddenly, what looked like a long-standing weakness might be morphing into a strength. And McDaniel seems to sense that shift happening right in front of him. But there's another piece to the puzzle that can't be ignored. And that's what's happening on the left side. With veteran Terron Armstead's future uncertain, the Dolphins are leaning on second-year tackle Patrick Paul to step up in a major way. Drafted in 2024 with long-term potential in mind, Paul now finds himself in a pressure cooker situation. Protecting Tua Tagovailoa's blind side is arguably the most critical job on the team, and it's one that comes with very little room for error. Tua has battled injuries nearly every year since entering the league, and if the Dolphins want their offense to function at full speed, he needs to stay upright. That means Paul has to be NFL ready and fast. Coaches love his athleticism and work ethic, but he's still got a long way to go when it comes to handling elite edge rushers. His development over the next few months will be key. So when you pair McDaniel's comments about Jackson with the overall makeup of this year's offensive line, What you get is a picture of cautious optimism. The pieces are there. The money has been spent. The coaching has been applied. Now it's about execution. McDaniel has always emphasized development, accountability, and chemistry, and nowhere on the roster are those three values more important than in the trenches. The line has to gel. They have to stay healthy, and they have to learn how to handle adversity, because in the AFC, where guys like Myles Garrett, Chris Jones, and Joey Bosa roam, the battles are relentless. The Dolphins don't need to have a top 5 line to succeed, but they do need to be reliable, consistent, and most of all, available. Austin Jackson's health is the first domino to fall in that chain. And according to McDaniel, that domino is standing tall and ready. Let's be honest, when Jackson was first drafted, plenty of people rolled their eyes. He was seen as a project, an athletic tackle with upside but little polish. His first few seasons didn't exactly quiet the critics. Penalties, missed assignments, and nagging injuries made it hard to buy in. But 2023 felt like a breakthrough, a season where Jackson finally started to put it all together. He wasn't just surviving on the field, he was winning reps. He looked stronger, smarter, and more confident. And if what McDaniel is seeing now is another level above that, then Dolphins fans might be witnessing the emergence of the player the front office envisioned 5 years ago. That's not just good news, it's transformative, because a reliable Jackson doesn't just help the right side of the line. He allows the rest of the unit to fall into place, to operate with rhythm, and to build an identity. Of course, none of this matters if it doesn't translate on Sundays. That's the cruel beauty of football. Progress means nothing without performance. But if the tone McDaniel set this week holds any weight, there's a quiet confidence building inside that facility. He's not just blowing smoke. There's real belief in the growth of this unit. The days of pointing fingers and holding breath every time the ball is snapped might finally be coming to an end. That's what makes this update about Jackson so meaningful. It's not just a physical update, it's symbolic. It's a statement that the Dolphins are getting serious about protecting their franchise quarterback, about fixing what's been broken for too long. And it starts fittingly with a player who's weathered the storm and is now ready to anchor the line. Now the focus shifts to training camp. That's when we'll get to see this more ready version of Austin Jackson in action. That's when Savaiinaea will line up next to Daniels, and Patrick Paul will try to prove he's more than just potential. The pads will come on. The real battles will begin. And Tua? He'll be watching, waiting, and hoping that this group can finally give him the time he needs to do what he does best. Distribute the football with precision, rhythm, and confidence. For the Dolphins to take the next step in a stacked AFC, the offensive line must rise to the challenge. Jackson's health is a start, but the journey is far from over. It's a long season. There will be setbacks. But with every good report, every healthy snap, the belief grows. Maybe this time, things will be different. Maybe this time the Dolphins finally got it right. So while the headlines keep spinning about Jalen Ramsey and his uncertain future, don't sleep on what's happening in the trenches, because when the dust settles, when the playoffs are on the line, and when the Dolphins need that one key drive to keep their Super Bowl hopes alive, it's not the secondary or the wide receivers who will be the deciding factor. It's the 5 guys up front. And thanks to Mike McDaniel's update, it looks like one of those 5, Austin Jackson, is ready to lead the charge. Buckle up, Dolphins fans. This offensive line storyline is just getting started, and if things go right, it might just be the difference between another early exit and a long, unforgettable run. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some absolutely shocking news coming out of Miami that's been lighting up the NFL rumor mill like wildfire. According to multiple unconfirmed sources and social media whispers, Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle has reportedly dropped a bombshell, declaring that he will no longer play alongside Tyreek Hill on the Miami Dolphins. That's right, folks. Waddle, one of the team's brightest young stars, has allegedly made it clear behind closed doors that his relationship with Hill has deteriorated beyond repair. And if that wasn't enough drama, Waddle reportedly went even further, saying that Tyreek Hill is, quote, hated by the locker room. Now, if true, this could mark a major crisis for the Dolphins, who have been considered one of the most dynamic offenses in the league thanks to this very duo. Now, let's rewind just a bit and look at how we got to this point. The Dolphins made waves when they traded for Tyreek Hill, pulling him from the Kansas City Chiefs and immediately making him the centerpiece of their high-flying offense alongside Waddle. The two speedsters quickly became one of the most feared wide receiver duos in the NFL, torching defenses with their blistering speed and precise route running. For the past 2 seasons, fans and analysts alike have marveled at how well their styles complemented each other. But now, with this sudden revelation from Waddle, it begs the question, was all that chemistry just for show? Were there cracks beneath the surface that we all missed while focusing on the highlight reels? Sources close to the Dolphins organization have indicated that tensions between Waddle and Hill have been simmering for months, if not longer. While neither player has made any direct public statements until now, there have been subtle signs. Sideline interactions grew colder, social media posts became less collaborative, and rumors of disputes in practice started leaking to fan forums and local Miami sports radio. Waddle's alleged statement seems to confirm what many insiders had been whispering about for some time. But for him to say outright that Hill is hated by the locker room raises the stakes significantly. That's not just personal beef. That suggests a fractured team dynamic that could impact the entire Dolphins season. For Tyreek Hill, this is familiar territory. Let's not forget that his exit from Kansas City was also mired in rumors of locker room issues and tension with coaching staff. Although publicly, the Chiefs and Hill both maintained it was strictly a financial and contract-related split, insiders hinted that Hill's personality and influence sometimes rubbed teammates the wrong way. Fast forward to Miami, and it's possible that history is repeating itself. Hill's larger-than-life persona, confidence, and at times controversial off-field antics may have created friction within a locker room that was previously centered around a more low-key team first. Culture, Waddle, known for his quieter demeanor and professional approach, may have finally reached a breaking point. The timing of this alleged fallout couldn't be worse for the Dolphins. With the 2025 NFL season right around the corner, expectations for the team are sky high. After narrowly missing a deep playoff run last year, many experts believe that a more mature Tua Tagovailoa, coupled with the electric play of both Waddle and Hill, would finally push Miami into serious Super Bowl contention. But internal conflict like this could derail all of that in an instant. The question now is, how will head coach Mike McDaniel handle this? Can he mediate between his 2-star receivers and restore harmony? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for this dynamic duo? One thing's for sure, this is not just about Waddle and Hill anymore. If Waddle's claim that Hill is hated by the locker room holds any weight, then the problem runs much deeper. It points to a possible culture clash within the Dolphins organization. Younger players may feel overshadowed by Hill's presence, while veterans might be frustrated by the constant media circus that follows him. Team chemistry, often overlooked in favor of raw talent, is essential for any franchise aiming for championship glory. Without it, even the most talented rosters can implode. We've seen it time and time again in the NFL. Ego clashes, fractured locker rooms, and eventually disappointing seasons. Fans have already taken to social media to voice their opinions. And as you can imagine, the reactions are polarized. Some supporters are backing Waddle, praising him for standing up for what he believes in and prioritizing team chemistry over personal accolades. Others are defending Tyreek Hill, pointing to his undeniable on-field production and arguing that the Dolphins would be nowhere near contenders without his game-breaking abilities. And then there's the group of fans who are just heartbroken, lamenting how this could spell disaster for what was shaping up to be the most exciting offensive season in franchise history. Either way, this drama has everyone talking, from Miami to the national sports media. From a front office perspective, this situation presents an enormous challenge. Do the Dolphins try to trade one of their stars before the season begins? If so, who do they choose? Waddle, the homegrown talent with years ahead of him, or Hill, the proven veteran with a hefty contract and a history of locker room complications? Or does the organization attempt to sweep this under the rug and hope that winning will heal all wounds? These are the kinds of high-stakes decisions that can define a general manager's career and set the trajectory of a franchise for years to come. Dolphins fans will be watching every move closely, knowing that the team's future hangs in the balance. Meanwhile, the rest of the AFC East is likely watching this situation unfold with great interest. The Bills, Jets, and Patriots know that a divided Dolphins locker room could give them a significant edge in what is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. If Miami falters due to internal conflict, it could open the door for their rivals to capitalize and make a playoff push. Conversely, if the Dolphins find a way to resolve this and come out stronger, they could still fulfill their potential as legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Either way, the ripple effects of this rumored feud between Waddle and Hill could extend far beyond just Miami. As of now, neither Jalen Waddle nor Tyreek Hill has made an official public statement regarding these rumors, leaving fans and analysts in suspense. The Dolphins' PR team has also remained tight-lipped, likely working behind the scenes to control the narrative and prevent further damage. But in the age of social media, controlling narratives is nearly impossible. Every tweet, every Instagram story, every sideline glance will be scrutinized for clues. Until someone addresses this head-on, speculation will continue to grow, and the media frenzy will only intensify. For now, all we can do is wait and see how this all unfolds. But one thing's for sure, the Dolphins offseason just got a whole lot more interesting. So, Dolphins fans, NFL followers, and all you sports junkies out there, what do you think about this shocking development? Is this just a case of media exaggeration and locker room misunderstandings, or is it the beginning of a full-blown crisis in Miami? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe for more breaking NFL news and analysis. We'll be keeping a close eye on this situation and bringing you all the updates as they happen. Until next time, stay safe, stay hyped, and as always, keep loving the game. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!